Hello and welcome to Wundercast. In the prior episode, I discussed the prospect of a Star Wars spin-off film centered around Darth Sidious, so if you haven't seen that episode yet, be sure to check that out, after watching this video, of course. So with Solo quickly approaching, the lingering question of what other Star Wars stories would be great to see on film remains. Sticking with a similar theme of exploring a side of the universe that hasn't been explored much in film, I think a film centered around the 501st Legion, the Legion under the direct command of Darth Vader, would be an interesting perspective on a long, unexplored part of the Star Wars canon on film. The 501st Legion has been under the command of Darth Vader ever since the Clone Wars as the then Anakin Skywalker. Dubbed Vader's Fist, they are some of the most well-trained and battle-hardened stormtroopers in the Empire. Much of the story of the 501st is directly linked to Darth Vader, but more often than not, clone troopers and stormtroopers are not given the limelight to see the plot unfold from their perspective. One of the few strong examples of a story from their perspective is the Umbara arc from the Clone Wars animated series, where their Jedi commander is changed, and the multi-episode arc deals with their reactions to a drastic change in command. I want to be vague here because this arc from the TV series is in my opinion one of the best in the entire series, and highlights how a story centered around troopers can be extremely entertaining, engrossing, and enlightening. I think there are a multitude of time periods in which you could place this film and it be effective, but I would place it right in the middle of Imperial rule, to give it some separation from the Clone Wars and the start of the Galactic Civil War. Vader, as the Empire's main Imperial enforcer, was often the one that was sent to squash any semblance of rebellion, and also often with helping take down Jedi that evaded Order 66. I would open the movie on an operation like this that happens to go wrong. A few of the Legion's top officers would die in the attack, and result in the promotion and addition of new troopers to fill out the ranks. It's also important to note that clone troopers did continue to serve during the reign of the Empire, but were phased out over time by regular humans. With the Legion having a mix of clones and newly enlisted troopers from the Academy, you start to get a more varied and diverse mix of characters with their own set of ideals and opinions on both Vader and the Empire. This of course would rise to some conflict within the Legion itself about the direction the Empire was going and what role Vader played in all of this. This could all unfold over a mission to quash a rebel cell that would force members of the Legion to put their loyalties into question. While you could certainly pull in some top-level talent for the troopers, I think it would be more important here to attach a director to this type of film. I would want to go with someone who has extensive experience in both war films and in understanding the mentality and brotherhood of soldiers. It's difficult to single out one director for this job, but it would include names like Christopher Nolan, Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One and could fit thematically, and Catherine Bigelow, director of The Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30. Of the three in terms of both likelihood and best fit in terms of story, I would lean towards Catherine Bigelow, mostly due to the fact that I think Christopher Nolan wouldn't want to dive back into another major franchise again, and while Gareth Edwards did well with Rogue One and fits the theme, I do think Bigelow would bring a real gravitas as a director to whatever narrative is written. Ultimately, like the proposed Sidious A Star Wars Story, a film centered on the 501st would offer a unique perspective into not only the Empire, but also Darth Vader as a commander. Stormtroopers have served as one of the many icons of Star Wars, but they have not been fully explored at all, especially in live-action films. So, if you have your own ideas for the director, actors, or plot a movie based on the 501st, please be sure to leave that in the comments below. Also be sure to list your own Star Wars story ideas or suggestions for future content. And of course, be sure to like and subscribe to Wundervideo for more content on movies and gaming. See ya!